In this video, I'm talking about panel prices, plywood and OSB across North America for the end of May 2024. Hello again, everyone. Kata Kosman, publisher of Madison's Lumber Reporter, coming to you from Vancouver, British Columbia, where we have been tracking North America construction framing, softwood lumber, and panel prices every week since 1952. I'm the third owner. And so today I'm going to talk about plywood and OSB. This is something important for the construction market across Canada and the US, and also for other applications, and is important for anyone who is in home building or needs to know what's going on with wood, whether it is the lumber or the panel. And so my previous video that I just finished, I hope you had a look at that, explaining how the dimension lumber prices are mostly flat from 1 year ago and for most of this year. And so similar with the plywood and OSB, but with a little bit of a different trend line. OSB prices are not flat compared to 1 year ago. And so what happened there was those prices did rise up earlier this year, about a month ago, but seemed to be a little bit maybe ambitious and since dropped. And now in the past couple of weeks, we're starting to see where the supply and demand balance is making it possible for those prices to level off. And similar to the dimension lumber that I just explained in my previous video, the plywood, Cdn Softwood Plywood, 3/8 inch or 9.5 millimeters out of Toronto is the benchmark for plywood. And those prices are flat in the past couple of weeks and exactly even to where they were 1 year ago. OSB, bit of a different change in that price. And that is OSB 7/16 out of Ontario. Again, the benchmark for that item, oriented strand board. And what I'll show you the graphs right now, and you can see what I'm saying. Great, and so with the Cdn Softwood Plywood out of Toronto, 9.5 millimeters or 3/8 inch, you can see what I mean, the blue line where that price bumped up in recent weeks and then had to correct back down as the market could not bear what the mills were trying to ask for. And at this moment, the blue line of this year is perfectly meeting with the yellow line of last year. So this is Canadian $622 per 1,000 square feet. Which is up from last week when it was 616, but down 17% from 1 month ago when it was 753, and almost exactly flat from 1 year ago when it was Canadian $631 per 1,000 board feet. Once again, quite soon over the next few weeks, that high from 2 years ago will fall off of this graph. It is a 2-year rolling price graph, and we will be able to have a little bit more of an idea of the dynamic those prices are doing now with the blue line and 1 year ago with the yellow line. And in contrast, here we have the benchmark oriented strand board item, 7/16 inch out of Ontario, showing a bit of a different trend line. And I've highlighted that same week 1 year ago when that price was Canadian $415 per 1,000 square feet. This week it is Canadian $630 per 1,000, which is flat from the previous week and down 15% from 1 month ago when it was 745. So we're not quite sure what's going on there. The same bump up and then back down for the recent weeks of this year is showing where the market is. The previous year and definitely the year before trend line is not the same as the plywood was, although that intersection of when everything collided at the end of June, that is the same for the panel and for the lumber. So in a month, we'll let you know more about this. Okay, and so similar to the softwood lumber, there are plump inventories in the field for plywood and OSB, which gives the customer no urgency at all in needing to buy. like I was saying in my previous video about the lumber and the housing, generally, yes, the construction season is normally at this time of year just getting going, but the builders will have already ordered the wood that they would need for these projects that they have coming up. And indeed, probably receive delivery or would be receiving delivery now on that wood that they ordered a couple of months ago. And so, unless things are really moving, at this time of year, normally would not be the highest volume of, plywood and OSB sales, as the customers would be receiving the wood that they know that they need. But since no one has been stocking up on inventory, that means people can get caught short. But why would they get caught short if they have what they need and housing is not expected to do anything really monumental over the next few months? Okay. And so this past week, just now at the last week of May, we did see some sawmill, panel mill suppliers undercutting each other. Okay, so they're having a little bit of a competition for those few pieces that the customers are ordering. And so, similar to what I said in the lumber video, some sales were below print, which is what we do, cash prices or print. So that's not that unusual at the end of a month, especially a month like this where the holiday intersection of Canada-US long weekends, often on the very same weekend this week, bookended, would let us know where is the market. If demand is leveling off or if there is a pop in sales, meaning over the next few weeks, maybe there will be some increase in demand and more maybe rising prices. Did not see that this week. So the panel mill order files are barely 2 weeks. That's nothing. That's short. That means the wood is prompt and people can buy from secondary suppliers, wholesalers, reloads. There's no urgency on the feeling of the customer to purchase. And similar to the lumber, the panel mills are not quoting out beyond where they have the production booked right now, because nobody knows what's going to happen. Why would someone peg a price for their product, their material, more than 2 weeks from now when they don't have any sales booked for that and they don't know what the price is going to be? I will say, like the customers that are waiting for the price to go down, that it's not going to go down anymore now. This is the level. The curtailments, the amount of lumber and panel manufacturing that has gone offline over this past year matches where the demand is. Okay, so the prices cannot drop because this is the cost of production where we are right now. So I'm going to stop there because I'm doing a video next here on housing, which brings together the dimensional lumber and the panel prices into what's going on with housing construction, because you need 3 basic wood things to build a standard US or Canadian single family home. Some kind of dimension, 2x4, whether it's Eastern spruce, Western spruce, Southern pine, Douglas fir, whatever. Some kind of stud, 2x4 stud, and some kind of panel, whether it's plywood or OSB. And so that's why we talk about those 3 things more often than anything else. And the plywood and OSB gets used for other things besides housing, which is why sometimes those prices don't move necessarily in the same direction as the lumber. And also, very important, especially plywood, is used for reconstruction and rebuilding after storms. So we've had some fires in the north already this year in the forest, and then we've had some pretty severe storms, not just in the south, but even tornado touchdown in southern Quebec just the other day, brief tornado. But still, this is a weather pattern that isn't usual for that region. And so when post-storm and people need to re-roof, people need to board up their windows, whatever it is they're doing, that's plywood and OSB. And that's why there are times when those prices don't necessarily move up and down with the housing market the way the lumber prices do. So if you like what you see here, click subscribe here on YouTube so you'll be notified when we make another video. Click like so this awesome content will be recommended to other viewers. And if you need more, because we track a lot more than just 2 panel prices and 4 dimension lumber, it's 500 individual softwood lumber and panel commodity prices every week. Go to my website. There's a link here in the caption. You can request a sample, fill out the form. We will send you what those items are and the price for that week, and the commentary explaining why those prices have changed, which is all the things I talk about, the inventory, log supply, order file, housing, all that kind of stuff. And if you like that, you can sign up. We'll send you an invoice and you will have access to the dashboard to see what those prices are. You can have all of this comment that I do on a bit of a lag, just a brief snapshot. You can have it for yourself every week.